So I'm sure some of you watch my death series playlist or maybe this video because you have experienced someone who's close to you dying. But today I want to talk about whose timeline is it, who created that, and very important, this video, it's not about blaming. And I have to say I'm academic, okay, so I'm always very interested. I mean, I studied philosophy. It was not a major, it was a minor, so I'm always very interested in the theoretical aspect of things as well. But again, this is not about blame because it has nothing to do with blame. But when you lose a person that is very close to you, who manifested it? Well, everyone in their own way. That person who died somehow manifested dying at a specific date, but we have to say it always had been in that specific timeline, that specific date. Because time is an illusion, everything already has been created. So that scenario has been created always. So they manifested it. However, if you watch my other videos, there is quantum immortality that for them, they don't really die. Let's say in your quantum bubble, they died in this car accident. If you watch my other videos, then for them, they jump back in time a little bit or maybe a little bit forward where the accident didn't happen and they live on. So they're still alive in another timeline. So who manifested that you lose them in your timeline? And unfortunately, I have to say, of course, not consciously, we always manifest everything ourselves. So every person who experiences the loss, their relatives, their best friend, their colleagues, their neighbors, everyone who experienced that, of course, met in that timeline where that incident happened. Why? Law of assumption. You know, we may have fears of loss, and that can manifest in losing someone who is very close to us. Or maybe we're not close to a person, but still we have assumptions. Some people die. Some people die through car crashes. Some people die through diseases. Some people die young because of whatever it is. So our assumptions, of course, they will get confirmed by spirit, by the universe, by our higher selves, however you want to call it. So we do get those assumptions somehow affirmed. So it is a creation of everyone who is evolved, even of that person who, I don't know, reads it online, the article about, okay, there was this kid who died in a car crash. They also somehow manifested it because it's their assumption. Sometimes people die young in car crashes, so take that example. But again, the person who has passed from your reality in that moment is not gone. They get to move on in another reality. And at the same time, since only a small part is in the physical world, the higher part of us is on the other side, we can still connect to them. And I do have these videos on 5 ways to connect to someone who passed on. So you can, for example, talk to a medium, and then their higher self will tell you, for example, the experience of dying, how that felt for them. But that is still kind of like your creation because it's your assumptions. Everyone is you pushed out, everything is you pushed out. So it is still something you create or choose that happened. But at the same time, I believe it is real to talk to the other person because, as I said in that video, everyone is you pushed out. So you created them and you also create them when they're on the other side and you can still connect to them because, again, everyone is you pushed out. This is your quantum bubble and it is your hologram, and nothing in this hologram is really real. It's just your consciousness that is real. But again, this is not about blaming. This is about more to understand. I want to understand more of death and dying and what happens when we die and who created it. And yes, everybody who is evolved met on that timeline because another version of you and in another life, because once you pass, you will also go back in time and relive your life again. Then you may make the experience where that fatal tragedy or disease or whatever it is did not happen. So you will get to meet them again in another life, and then again and again and again, and probably throughout eternity. There's an infinite number of timelines where you get to make the same experiences with that person, or slightly different, or maybe even improved and better. And then of course in other times you will make the experience, if that person passed young, way before what we say would be natural time, then you will get to see that person grow up in other timelines. But don't do anything stupid now, okay? Because we already said, I do have videos where people tried to end themselves and it doesn't work. Only people in around you would make the experience of you passing. You would make the experiences of it not working, because we cannot die. We cannot die, because if death would come prematurely, that incident just doesn't happen to us, or happens less severe and we live on. Or if we're really old and we pass, well, then we may go back in time to when we were young and live a completely different life. But I think also, maybe I should do a video on that. If we want to end ourselves, we don't. We can't, because we cannot die. So I hope you will have some condolence to know that this person, they still exist, and you will get to see them again multiple times. I hope it gives you some condolence. Well, make sure to check out the entire playlist, and I do see you there on personal coaching. Until then, I do wish you all the best now. Bye bye. If you want to book your own custom-made affirmation or subliminal, you will find my contact information in the description box below.